se ve todo por aquí.
¿Estás ordenando, Fernando? ¿Aló? ¿Hola?
Sí. Hola, Jordi.
Hola, ¿qué estabas ordenando la sala?
Sí, sí, que he visto que con la cámara se ve todo.
A ver si poco a poco se va juntando todo el mundo.
Hola.
Ay. Hola.
Hola, Jordi.
¿Cómo va?
Bien, aquí.
A ver si poco a poco se va juntando todo el mundo. ¿Qué hora es ya?
Y 27.
Ah, vale. ¿Cómo se puede ver aquí qué más hay conectado?
Yo estoy viendo que estamos 10.
Ah, pero no se ve todo el mundo, Juan.
No, claro, si tienen apagados el vídeo y el silencio no se les ve.
Sí. Mauricio, ¿me oyes tú? Hey, Dargit. Mauricio, ¿me oyes tú o no? Ya, pero yo a ti no te oigo.
Yo tampoco.
Please net check your microphone. It's not working. And try for a spoke, please.
Hello, can you hear me, Jody? And everyone?
Yeah, now yes. Yes, now yes. Okay, now yes.
Okay, we'll just wait for a few more minutes and then we will join.
Yeah. Okay. Sushan, tell
Yes.
2 or 3 guys it's not connect the microphone. Darshit, it's the microphone is not working.
They are on mute right now, Jody.
Maverick also is not working.
Yeah, hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Maverick. Jay.
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Hi, Jordy.
Hello.
Hi, Sushant.
Hi. Hi, Karan. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
All good. Good to see you.
Good. Perfect.
Hello,
Santosh?
Rico. Hello, Fernando. Hello, Jose. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Hey, Karan.
Hi, Jordy.
What is your face like that? Many days in the house.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he doesn't look like this in the desert, but he looks like
Yeah.
this at home.
Still on the recce.
Karan is getting bored sitting at home without any desert storm. So he's out on roll making some road books for us.
Seriously missing the sand, boss.
I know he must be working it hard.
Hey, Rafa Rubio.
Hello. Good afternoon.
The king of the Spain. Hey, Susan, I think it's good. It's for waiting for Santos. It's spoke little bit all the guys for made some presentation. I think it's good. Okay, what is your opinion? Hello. Oh, many people.
Yeah, sorry.
Now works, Sushan.
Yes.
I think it's good. It's for when waiting for Santos. It's spoke all the guys for made presentation, and also the country. Okay, it's just start from the Indians and the Spanish and the Argentina and the Colombian.
Yeah.
It's good to speak little bit for a small presentation with him. It's right in the use the bike or not right, and also which is the country. What is your opinion?
Yeah, it's okay. I think.
Okay, Karan, start you.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, a little bit of introduction, Karan, from where you are, what do you do? Are you a rider?
I am basically from India, Delhi, and I work with Northern Motorsport from the past 9 years.
Hi, Karan.
Hi. Hi, CS. How are you? Good to join.
Hey, good to see you.
Paco, you sleep. ¿Qué pasa, Paco? ¿Qué pasa, Paco? What? All the time it's need waiting for the princess.
Hey, Grau.
¿Qué pasa?
All good. Todo bien, Grau.
Todo bien. Okay, it's now the guys is made a small presentation. Start Karan, okay, and before of that, start the questions for you, okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
everybody is just going to introduce themselves, Santosh, so that everybody knows who they are from and what are their short backgrounds. Starting with Karan now. Karan, please go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I'm from Delhi, and I work with Northern Motorsport for the past 9 years. And I am in charge for making the tracks, the placements for Desert Storm and India Baja.
Oh, great. For our friends from abroad, Northern Motorsports is the organization that does Desert Storm in India. One of the, in fact, the biggest desert rally that is currently happening in India. So Karan is the man who does the tracks and making it all happen. Okay, maybe Vishnu,
Hey.
you can introduce yourself quickly.
Hi, I am from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and I just started rallying and participating in INRCs.
Okay, thank you, Vishnu.
Yep.
Arpita, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Arpita. I'm from Mangalore, Karnataka. I'm basically into road racing, and just now I started rallying also. I have participated in 2 rallies. So first, I would like to thank all the Hero Motorsports team for giving this great opportunity for us. And also, it is a great pleasure to be getting a chance for having an interaction with CS Santosh. Thank you so much.
Hi, Arpita. Welcome to the chat.
Thank you.
Jatin, your turn now.
Hey, uncle!
Oh, Uncle.
Santosh! This is the new
Hey,
boss
Uncle
in
Jatin.
India.
Uncle Jatin is on. Yes.
Yeah, Uncle Jatin is the new boss in India.
Jatin, a quick couple of lines about you, man.
About me?
Yeah.
I like to race with Santosh. but that fellow never gives me an opportunity to ride with him.
we have to work on this. We have to work on a deal, Jatin. We'll make a deal now.
Yeah, sure. I will be there behind you.
Thanks, Jatin. Darshit.
Yeah, hello everybody. This is Darshit Jangir from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Basically, I'm not into a professional racing so far, but yes, I have a history of participating in Formula Student for the 3 seasons. And apart from that, like currently I am teaching German language, like I'm a German language teacher and doing the like freelancing designing. That's it.
Nice.
Servus.
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 Which Indian more? Lalita, come on.
Sorry?
Priyanka, you made a presentation. Your voice is not, your microphone is not work now.
Hi, Jordi. Hi, Jatin.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, CS. First
Hi.
of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that this was an invaluable experience. I mean, just putting everything together and giving us all such an opportunity to learn and virtually race and compete was really great. I'm originally from Mumbai, Pune, and I started riding motorcycles just about 3 or 4 years ago. I have no competition experience, but I've contemplated getting into domestic rallies and see where it takes me.
Okay, nice.
Lovely.
Which is the next? Which is the next? Lalita, come on.
Come on.
It's the sun. The sun is not. Lalita is not. The sun is not good.
You speak something dirty.
Yeah.
Jordi is my trainer
Not work.
for road books.
Which is the next? Sushan.
Yeah, maybe, Lalita, maybe you want to introduce yourself? You're not audible, Lalita. I think you're on mute or something.
Now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. All right. I'm from Bangalore and I've been not into two-wheeler rallying, but I participate in TSD formats, which is the four-wheeler concept. I've been doing rallies from 2009 and won some titles in the last year. This was an amazing experience to do a virtual navigation, and that's why I got hooked onto it and I did all the 4 challenges. Very glad talking to you, CS, and of course, learning a lot bits of what we could do with navigation further.
Hi, Lalita. Lovely having you.
Hi, thank you, Lalita, for joining today.
Thank you. I have lucky. Only 10 guys live in Bangalore and 2 stay there. No, Santosh?
Quickly, maybe Fernando, you want to
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
yourself, the rest of us?
Yes.
Evening.
You hear me? You hear me?
Yeah, Fernando, it's working.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Fernando Fernandez from Madrid, Spain. I'm a biker amateur. I am also engineer in automotive industry. I like a lot of the rally world, and I travel a lot of with my bike in off-road mode here in Spain, and I made all the tracks and all the routes with Google Earth. That is this a help for me when for these races that we have made.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fernando.
Hola.
Para los españoles, Santos like a lot. Le gusta mucho España. It's like a lot Spain.
Okay.
And it's
my
some help
second
for.
home.
We know that because of the weather.
Rafa.
It's because of the weather.
Yeah. Rafa need work for it's cancel the visa for Santos next time.
I know.
You have influence in Madrid. It's possible you could speak to the embassy for cancel the visa. Not possible anymore.
We are working on that.
Yeah. Rafa, made your presentation.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Rafa Rubio. I'm also from Madrid in Spain. I am really not connected in a professional way with motorsport. I'm just a fan. I'm a biker. My work is in the technology space, but I'm a keen follower of rallying in particular. I started going to see the races live for the last 3-4 years. This is where I met Jordi, and I also met Santos. We met in a few rallies, Olivia, Merzuga, also the last Dakar in South America in Peru. So I'm trying to follow that. And last year, I took my first rally experience in Morocco, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. Results is a different thing. I don't do this for the results. I do it for fun. So it was great, and I'm happy, to stay connected. And I'll probably try to do another race as soon as we can, because right at the moment we can't. So hello everyone, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
Nice to have you, Rafa.
Hey guys,
I'll see you maybe, Santos. I'll see you maybe next time in Pina, no, again, or in Lleida training.
Yeah, as soon as the flights are back, I'm on the first plane.
Good.
Okay, guys.
There are some girls asking for you, by the way, here.
Okay, guys. Here it's Martin. It's the winner. The winner is there.
Yes.
Hello. Are you with me?
Hello, Martin. Yeah. Perfect.
So,
An applause for the winner. An applause.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
stuff, Martin.
you. It's to talk about me a bit.
Yeah. It made a small presentation about your ride in the races, or which is your story, and also it's from which country?
Yeah, I'm from Portugal.
Another mafia portuguesa, Paco, not possible.
Yeah. I'm trying to get into the rally world bit by bit. This was like a way to train a bit, like we can't ride outside, so I try to get better in navigation, to get better with written road books. And yeah, trying. I've made it to Xaluca one time to ride there. And this was a good way to train a bit more, and in a few next years try to get some rallies.
Okay, for the guys who understand about tell Martin about the Chaluka. Chaluka it's a hotel in Morocco.
Yes.
In Europe, it's not possible training dunes. It's not available dunes, okay? And all the European when go to training in the dunes and in the desert need go to the Morocco. It's only the possible. This is Chaluka. It's the name of the hotel, but it's in Merzouga. It's near Merzouga, and it's the zone. Okay, it's for to understand all the people. And
It's the amazing zone. Yeah,
an amazing
zone.
Yeah.
Top. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you,
Martin.
Okay.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank
Mauricio,
you.
come on, Mauricio from Colombia.
Hi everyone.
Hello, Mauricio.
Hi, Fabricio.
I am Mauricio Paez from Bogotá,
Mauricio.
Colombia. Oh, hola. I've been participating in rallies for about 5 years in my motorcycle, the BMW GS, and now we are participating in Darien rally here in Colombia. Unfortunately, 1 week ago, before the coronavirus, we must be at home, so we are waiting, and I enjoy a lot the participation in the challenge. So thank you, Jordi, and all the Hero Motorsport for support us and for entertain us.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, gracias, Mauricio.
Okay.
Welcome. Okay, and Sebastián Bardú from Argentina. It's the next one. Hello, Sebastián.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hey, hello. Hola.
I am
Also
Sebastián.
for Sebastián, also for Santos, the 3 countries Argentina, like a lot countries.
Argentina is the best. Argentina.
Yeah.
Love Argentina.
It's big.
Yeah.
I am beginner. I race or I rob. A ver,
Dilo
no hablo muy
en
bien
castellano. Sebastián, dilo en
bueno.
castellano, yo lo traduzco, tranquilo.
Bueno, mejor. Soy argentino, corro en enduro y practico el deporte hace no mucho, 2 años. No tengo experiencia en rally. Digamos, sigo el rally y no conocía lo que es el mundo del rally. Con esto, digamos, me interioricé un montón. Lo que son los roadbooks y las rutas son nada que ver al enduro. Y me encantó. Estoy esperando que acá en Argentina se levante la cuarentena para salir y tener mi primera experiencia en campo.
Okay. The guy is tell it's from Argentina. It's an enduro rider. It's a beginner, and it's for the people around the world. It's when entry the Dakar in South America. In Argentina, all it's the Dakar. It's a more important sport, and the people like Dakar like a football or like it's crazy. All the Argentina like a lot the motorsport. Depends on, I don't know which zone it's Sebastián. ¿De qué zona eres, Sebastián?
¿Cómo?
¿De qué zona eres?
De Rosario.
De Rosario. Okay, it's
it's the 30 city in Argentina.
Yeah, and also it's the Dakar. It's many times it's start or finish in Rosario.
Yes.
And it's the guy tell it's his first time looking the roadbook and enjoy a lot the experience. And now it's stay about the coronavirus. Is stay in quarantine in the house and waiting for go outside for ride. Okay, all the guys
Thank
make
you.
a presentation.
So I think Jay,
Perico.
you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I haven't introduced myself yet. So, hi guys, my name is Jay and I am from New Delhi. Hey CS, how are you?
Good, good.
So, obviously this was my first desert storm in 2018 and I was really lucky to saw you there. I was stuck at, I guess, somewhere around 90 kilometers and it was, great pleasure watching you fly by because you were doing the second loop of the marathon stage.
Okay.
First stage, yeah. I saw you had a look at me and it was like intriguing, like, is everything okay? And then you zapped off. So apart from my bread and butter, I started cross-country rallying in 2016 on 2 wheels. I have done 2 Raid the Himalayas, and last year, 2019, was my first desert storm ever. So I am slowly stepping into this world and hoping to aim for Dakar in next few years.
And also,
Fantastic.
Jai is the winner in India, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
Good job.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay.
All right. I think Samir, you're up next.
Yeah, hi. Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, Samir. Yeah, Samir. Yeah, hi, Santosh. It's been long time after motocross and supercross. I am from Nagpur. So I used to rally and do the MRF Supercross early in 2006, 2005. But this is completely new experience during lockdown. So it was exciting to go for this new kind of experience. So from Nagpur, it's right now it's really very hot and it's really nice challenge to get it down on there.
Santosh heat a lot. Nagpur heat. He likes it.
I love
I
love the thali food and the heat in Nagpur.
Yeah, especially the Bengali sweets.
Bengali sweets, yes.
He used to eat everybody's sweets. He said, "I don't need anything, only the sweets."
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Samir.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Everybody's done, or I think Perico is waiting, right?
Hola.
Hola.
Me llamo. Hola.
Hola.
No hablo, vale, no hablo inglés. Sí.
Ok, Perico, un momento. Tú di lo que tengas que decir y también te resumo un poco. Son gente de diferentes sitios de la India, ¿ok?
Sí.
Básicamente hay gente de organización de carreras, hay gente de Colombia, lo has visto, igual que de Argentina. Y entonces es un poco, casi todos la gente son amateurs. Y bueno, tú haz tu presentación y yo la traduzco. ¿Okay?
Vale, pues yo también soy amateur, tengo licencia federativa y colaboro en varias pruebas deportivas, más que nada en España y en Marruecos, con la Maro Challenge y en la Panáfrica alguna vez. Y nada, y en la Baja Aragón llevo gente en los puestos de control y quiero que le digas a Santos que en el 2015 le diré salida yo en esa Baja Aragón. Vale, y nada, pues eso, mi nivel es amateur, colaboro por ahí con varias pruebas y nada, y encantado de estar aquí.
Ok, the guy, ¿de qué zona eres de España tú?
De Zaragoza.
Ah, ok, Maño.
El acento.
Okay, the guy is from Spain, it's Zaragoza, it's in the center, east, it's the zone, it's made the Baja Spain, okay? Santos, this guy it's in 2050, it's the guy, in the start point, it's the guy tell from a start, okay? It's meet to you in the Baja Spain 2050, and it's the guys collaborate with in many races in Pan Africa and Baja Spain, and also in the Morocco Challenge. It's one race is made in Morocco, and it's amateur. It's from Zaragoza. Okay.
Okay. Now one guy is left.
Jatin is left. Jatin has
welcome.
Yes, see.
Not me. Jignesh is there.
Ah, Jignesh.
Jignesh?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on, please.
Introduce yourself, Jignesh. Speak something about you.
I guess he is not able to hear us.
Maybe.
Okay, Shushan, it's continue with the questions. It's best.
Yeah. So I think let me just take this opportunity to formally welcome you guys. For the first fireside chat with Santosh, and a big congratulations to all of you who participated in the Navigator challenges. And we hope that it was useful for you guys. You find it fun. You find it engaging, and we hope that it was useful to you guys. All right. And of course, I hope everybody is keeping safe and your families and everybody is safe these are some really crazy, insane times that are going on. So, our best wishes to all of you and your families. Keep safe. Now, I think we have heard all of you guys introducing yourself. A quick introduction about who all is here from the Hero Motorsports side. I am Tushant. I handle marketing and communication related stuff for the entire team. I'm also responsible for the motorsports as a brand within the Hero group, right? We have, of course, Jordy, our uncle Jordy, who's the guy, the navigation expert, and who's the guy who makes sure that our guys are able to reach home safely at the end of the stage, and he helps them prepare the navigation. And of course, he's much more than that. He's a great friend in the team, and we all love him. And the fast Indian Santosh, right? So without much ado, I think let's just quickly get into the discussion. So I think the way we take it forward is I can help you guys channelize the conversations a little bit in terms of timing and where we are heading at. Otherwise, please feel free to jump in and shoot out your question. Santosh, I think we'll start. A lot of questions were coming in on your journey, right? How you started your entire career and what it took for you to get to where you are right now. Maybe some of you guys can start asking some of your questions around how Santosh started. Maybe we can start with Lalita, if you want to start. And then everybody else can join in.
Okay.
So, Santosh, some questions, these things keep on my mind also when I get into the four-wheel behind for navigation. What goes on in your mind when the race begins or before the race begins?
What goes on in my mind before the race begins? Well, usually before the race starts, we make a lot of preparations. It's a few months of work that we put in. So, of course, in a race like the rally, it's really difficult to anticipate what's going to happen each day. I think all of us, we try and concentrate on the job that we need to do, which is to read the road book well and to be able to maintain a good race, because the races, as you know, is 5 days. So every single day is important. So I think we try and approach each day as it comes. And when the race starts, we try and approach the race by each note. Try and read each note to the best of your ability, to navigate, to make good calls, to try and do the best you can every single day. That's pretty much how we approach the race.
What inspires you the most to continue racing?
Well, I have a lot of goals that I want to achieve, but I think I really enjoy the rally family, the atmosphere. The cross-country rallying is very unique. It's very different from competing in supercross or motocross. You get to meet very interesting people like you folk, and you get to interact with them. And we also get to interact with, not just with our teams, with our competitors also. And we get to see some of the most beautiful places in the world, like Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, and now Saudi Arabia. So it's some of the most beautiful and most spectacular places that we can get to ride our motorcycles. So I think there is a lot that actually is very interesting about cross-country rallying.
Interesting. And how do you keep your passion alive?
I mean, I have a passion for life. I want to experience all the good things in life. And of course, for me, this is an opportunity that I have with Hero to being able to go and compete at some of the best races across the world. And every year I improve. And I also have a personal goal that I want to achieve, to be one of the top 20 guys in the Dakar. So this is one goal that I have been chasing for some time. And hopefully I'll be able to close in on that come next year.
Okay. Thank you. More power to you. And any 3 lessons from failures?
Wow, 3 lessons from failures. I think failures teach you a lot, because for me, I really struggled a lot with my transition to cross-country rallying. It took me a really long time to understand the road book, for example. You guys were able to do a really good job with the road book. when I started rallying, I didn't have this ability to go out and do the road book in an environment like how you did it. I'm sure if I did it, I would have learned a lot. So I would say you need to always have an open mind to accept your failures and also have an open mind to improve. Second is to always persevere. And the third thing is to always work for what you want to achieve in life. So I think if you have these three things, it'll be able to get you somewhere in life.
Thank you. More power to you and to me also. Good luck to you for your goal.
Yes, congratulations. And I hope you guys have a good season when it does start.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lalita. Who else want to go next? Arpita, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, how did you get into biking? Like, and from there, how you started with the rallies? So, how it all started?
I got into biking when I was 18 years old. So, you know, the story is pretty much everybody knows. You know, people buy you. My father bought me a motorcycle to go to college, but I started using that motorcycle to do drag races in the city. And I realized later on that it was not the best way to use my skill, and also it wasn't the safest way to express myself. So from then on, I looked for places where I could go ride my motorcycle, and I found empty lake beds, which I really loved riding because there were tracks. So this is how I started my off-road journey. So went from the street, I found places to ride in and around Bangalore, and from then on, I started competing at the novice level. And then I got picked up by TVS, and then the rest is history. I won some championships with them and made my way into cross-country rallying in 2012 with the Rally Himalaya.
What are your plans to contribute towards the Indian motorsport scene as a promoter and not as a participant?
My journey with motorsports has taught me that there are lots of gaps in India in terms of infrastructure. I've been able to address some of it with Big Rock. Big Rock, when we put it together, we wanted to have a place where people who are amateurs, who are novices, who wanted to experience off-road riding with their adventure bikes or their street bikes could come to us, and then they could learn some skills which would then enable them to be able to go off-road and ride. So I think in any sport, the challenge first is to be able to propagate the sport. The cricket is really popular in India because millions of people play it. So exactly the same thing in motorsports. If I can get hundreds of thousands of people to come and experience a motorcycle off-road, I am doing my bit to introducing them to the sport. So this is my goal. We're trying to get as many people as I can to come and ride motorcycles, which is off-road, which is my love. So if I can do that with Big Rock, I'll be really happy. Also, the second phase of this is to also offer a competition like the Red Bull Ace of the Earth. This is a very unique format of race in India where you could probably bring a bike that you race, which you ride on the street, and then you can take part in this race because the format of the race is not based on speed. It's based on being able to tackle obstacles. And so with the Red Bull Ace of the Earth, we're able to give you a platform to maybe compete and then also get a chance to have a stepping stone from this race to then participate in a cross-country rally.
Do you have any plans on bringing the foreign riders to conduct training programs in India?
I think maybe Jordy might come down sometime in the future. He maybe help with the road books because he's one of the best guys. And I think in India, we need guidance in terms of being able to understand how to read road books, how to navigate well, how to prepare for a cross-country rally. Because I think cross-country rally is a sport that either you can also participate, and I can also participate at the same time. There is no entry barrier, so to speak. Like in other formats of racing, like supercross and motocross, you need to be specialized. So I think with cross-country rallying, even an amateur can participate with the professionals. So I think maybe at some point in time, we'll get Jordy to come down and maybe run a workshop with Roadbook. We look forward to doing this.
As a beginner, you may have been through so many consequences. So tell us about that. And also, would you like to give any motivation or tips for the beginners?
I think in racing, everybody has incidents. So It is a part of our sport, so we have to accept it. You know, it's not that if you're going to crash, it's just a matter of when. So it's part of the nature of the sport. And the second question, what was that? What did you ask me again? Sorry.
Would you like to give any motivation or tips for the beginners?
Well, I think you guys are doing a great job already. You know, I think, like you said, you wanted to also explore the possibility of racing a cross-country rally in India, which is possible with the Desert Storm or the Baja India. And I think with you being able to learn how to do the road books, it's one step closer to being able to pursue your dream of competing in a national cross-country rally. I just think that if you have an interest for something, you should definitely explore the possibility to make this dream a possibility. And I think being able to do that with this rally program is pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. Motorsport in India is not having enough exposure now. So tell us, according to you, what is need to be done for the Indian rally scene to get more exposure, to get the sponsorship appeals?
Well, sponsorship is always going to be hard to come by. It's but I think in India, you know, it's exponentially growing. From the first time that I did the Dakar in 2015, which has been now 5 years now, there's been exponential growth in terms of exposure for motorsports in India. It's also in part because of a big manufacturer like Hero entering the sport and the scene. So when you have a manufacturer like Hero, which is not just having a rally team, but they also have a product, which is the X-Pulse. So the X-Pulse is a bike that you can pretty much buy from a showroom and then go out and explore a trail next to your house, or also take it to work with you. And the entry level for this has been significantly reduced, because if you know, buy an off-road bike or to have an off-road bike, the cost could be high. And with being able to have an X-Pulse in India, I think it lowers the entry barrier. And Hero actively participating and doing such activations, whether it's road book today or some sort of a feeder series in the future, the possibilities are limitless. So I think we're on the right path.
Thank you so much, Santosh. Good luck.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, Arpita. Seba also, I think, had Sebastian also had a few questions. Sebastian, you want to jump in?
Sebastián.
Sí.
Las preguntas.
Las preguntas, ok. Yo me gustaría saber a qué edad comenzó a correr y cómo fue en los comienzos.
Okay. Santosh, Sebastian asked which years you start for ride. You tell when you, and also which is the races you ride in the beginning.
I start when I was 18 years old, and in the beginning, the first race I do was dirt track. I ride the first race in my life was a dirt track, and from dirt track I ride motocross and supercross in India. And in 2012, I switched to rally with the Red Himalaya.
Ya. ¿Entendiste, Sebastián?
Sí. Empezó con...
Sí.
Después, sí, fue muy largo el camino desde los comienzos hasta llegar a tener sponsors internacionales de la talla de Hero, tener el respaldo de ellos.
Okay, Santosh. Ask it's how it's the long. It's a long way when you start and when you have the sponsorships about the Hero for entering the rally races.
See. Yes. When I start in the beginning. Yes. Sorry. What now?
Yeah. It's which is the line you see for when you start for finally you stay in the professional team.
Okay, so when I first start, it's important to know that if you have talent or not. Talent is important because in a sport like motorsports, you need to compete with other people. So if you recognize that you have some talent, and then if you start to work, if you put in the work, you can achieve some amount of success. And with this success, you must always plan the next steps. And for me also, I knew that I had talent in the beginning, so I worked really hard. I knew I had to win the important races, so I won the important races. And with this, I planned my journey to one day make an international race. So this is how I planned my journey from the beginning.
I think Santosh also it's good. Un momento, Sebastián, es importante. ¿Entendiste todo?
Sí, que él...
Okay. One thing, Santosh, it's good. I hope it's good. Tell for the amateurs now stay online. It's one thing. It's crazy when you come for the first time. It's you practice with see the YouTube videos. I spoke about this story.
Which one? What? Say again.
In the beginning,
see?
You look a lot YouTube videos in the races, no?
Yes. In the beginning because of course in India it's not possible to see supercross and motocross like it is in Europe, where they have many really good riders. So in India, motorsports was new. So in the beginning, yes, all of us, we watch only YouTube videos and try to read some magazine and try to understand the style to ride the motorcycle. This is how we start. And also for the Dakar, it's the same, because nobody before go do the Dakar from India. So I look at all the YouTube videos about people that race the Dakar. And in the beginning, I was very scared, because everybody said the Dakar is the craziest race in the world. So yes, so all my information I was lucky to get from YouTube when I started at the beginning.
Ok, Sebastián, ¿alguna pregunta más?
Sí, una consulta más. Si cuando entrena, me imagino que entrena para hacer también motocross y lo que es hard enduro. También me gustaría saber si cuando entrena navegación, si sale a hacer rutas y ese tipo de cosas.
Okay, Santosh, spoke about your training, okay? It's you training motocross, training hard enduro, and also it's you training road books, training navigation.
Okay, so I think for the rally, you need to be a good overall rider. So it's not enough to be only a motocross and supercross rider. I think some of the best riders in the world are really good enduro riders today in the Dakar. So I think it's really important to understand, to train enduro, to understand how to read different terrain, how to ride the rocks, how to ride places which are very difficult. It's important to ride motocross because you can work on speed and intensity and understanding cornering technique. I think between motocross and enduro, this is a good skill set, but also very important is the road book. I think it's one of the most important things to learn is the road book, because when I start in the rally, I see a lot of very fast guys, but they don't know how to navigate sometimes, and they can be really fast, but if they make a wrong decision with the note, they will lose a lot of time. And to try and make up for the time, they usually take more risks and it becomes more dangerous. So I think if you are a good rider, if you want to be a good rider in cross-country rally, you must definitely focus on the road book also.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay. Gracias. Gracias, Sebastián.
Gracias.
Jay, you were trying to ask something.
Me?
And earlier.
Yeah, I have my own set of questions for CS. Maybe some different ones. So, yeah, CS, like taking part in such adventure sports, it's safe to assume that one has many close calls, and I'm sure you must be having a bag full of stories. And I read your interview at the Railwood website that CS doesn't like to, keep the records of bad memories, because we all have a selective memory, and you want your memories to be full of the good ones. But as a rally rider, I always inquire people like, what is the biggest fear of them they encountered, or they oversee that they are yet to encounter it? And I mean, if you have encountered any, please let me know. And how do you manage to overcome it?
You mean my fears, like one of the biggest fear? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, the biggest one ever in a rally.
I think all of us have a respect for the sport, because the sport that we do, the cross-country rallying, is of course a dangerous sport. So you definitely have a respect for the sport, but I don't think any of us ride or race our motorcycles with fear of crashing. We never think of the worst outcome. We always imagine the best possible outcome. So even when you're riding in the desert, when you cannot see over the crest, or when you're going flat out 150, 160 kilometers an hour down the desert, to imagine yourself in the best possible scenario and imagine everything working in your favor. So I don't really think that we have an active fear of crashing in the rally. I would say my only fear is in rallying is to not reach my potential, because I have because I worked through the year to be ready for the Dakar, and when the Dakar comes, I expect a certain performance for myself. So this is the only fear that I have, if not being able to perform to the best of my ability. That is pretty much the biggest fear that I have.
So what I got here is that, in a nutshell, you want to say always stay positive and keep pushing your limits. Am I right?
Yes. Because all of us that race motorcycles or cars, we definitely have to be positive, because of the nature of the sport. But that being said, anything can happen at any point in time in life. Nothing is guaranteed. We're living our life to the best of our ability on our motorcycles, and it's a great opportunity to experience life. So I think we have to be grateful and just be positive about any outcome that could arise out of it.
Got it. So my another set of question was like, I'll be tracking back to what Apita said over here, that we are living in a country where no form of motorsport is telecasted by a mainstream media channel without any basic support structure, and primarily we are self-funded in a nation where government thinks of it as a source of entertainment rather than a professional sport. So there are many out there who want to enter the sport or keep watching or do the things to get on the platform. But what are your suggestions, or what do you think, where are we lacking it, and as a community, can we do anything to change this sport, or support the sport?
Okay, I think it's a really good question. Yes, in India, it's really difficult because there aren't many people like us. I think the passion for sport is only reserved for cricket in India, unfortunately.
Yes,
people only feel passion for cricket.
People watch kabaddi and IPL sessions, but there is no more sport everywhere.
Yes, I think, and also this is strange because all of us, our parents, all of us took us on motorcycles when we were kids, and today we ride motorcycles. The whole nation used to move on motorcycles, two-wheelers, whether it's two-wheelers or motorcycles or scooters. So I think in Europe, I think they had this phase also in the beginning where today I see this in India, in the sense that the sport is now growing because we have an ability today to afford to chase a passion. Before, I don't think the country was in a position where we could afford to chase a dream. But I think today there is a certain amount of freedom and I think the sport has just started to grow in India. The fact that there is TVS and Hero that are competing at the Dakar, two of the biggest manufacturers. Of course, Hero is the biggest manufacturer in the world.
Yes.
Competing in motorsports, having a product in India, they're doing their bit. So I think all of us should definitely support the efforts of manufacturers. And I think there is definitely a long way to go. But since there is a huge manufacturer involved, I think the sport will definitely change for the better. And it's up to me and you for us to be able to go out and support the sport in whatever fashion or way that we can do it.
Right. So as a community, we can bring it together to improve the platform in India for the
yes. So like for
come.
example, with Big Rock, like what I did with Big Rock, nobody did something like this before me. But I took that as not as a challenge, but as an opportunity. So I'm sure there are various opportunities in motorsports in India that we can explore.
Got it. Got your point. Another kind of question for me, like I would like to know about the finances or sponsors, if I say it directly, as myself, I'm planning to do Dakar in coming years. So I need your tips, like how would you recommend I start preparing for them, because I have to do 3 qualifying before I really get to the Dakar, and international events aren't, they are not an easy task without a list of sponsors if you're not backing up. Like you yourself did your first Dakar, I guess, 16?
15, yes, 15.
15, yeah. But then obviously you were in good health and efficient hands at Hero Motorsports.
you yourself made it to the point. We always, watched you. Even my first raid was after watching your videos, and you were the man when Mr. Thomas, set the limits from Grand Fukaza section from 80 minutes to 70 minutes, because CS did it in 69.
Yeah.
So back to my point, like, any tips on getting sponsors?
So yes, sponsors is the hardest thing to crack, but I also think there is a wealth of opportunity here in India. The most important thing, in the Dakar is to be able to tell your story. I think if you have a story to tell, people will be interested to hear it. And when people want to know your story, obviously there'll be interest from sponsors also. So I think it's very important to get your story on why you want to do the Dakar. And yes, to do the Dakar, you need to qualify in one race. You can choose one race in the World Championship that you can participate. And if you finish this race, you get a qualification for the Dakar. The sponsorship thing is hard because you need to first approach people that support you. So whether it's small companies or whether it's your friends and family, if you get a community to start supporting you, and then you go with that story that the community is supporting you, and then you go to a corporate sponsor and you say, hey, listen, I have all these people behind me, they're supporting me to go to the Dakar. I think the most important thing, like I said to you, is the story that you're able to tell people. And apart from me, I compete professionally, but we also have privateers in India now. So say, for example, Jatin is doing the Bahas. We also have Ashish Raurane that is competing in the cross-country rallies. So he's able to find a sponsor for himself also, even though he's not a professional. So I think in other forms of motorsports, you will need to win or to be very good to get a sponsor. But for cross-country rally, the story is just as important. And a country like India, we could use inspirational stories, not just mine, but yours or somebody else's in this motorsport. So I think there is an opportunity here.
Right. Bang on the point, CS. Thanks. That's a big recommendation, or, I'll save it for later. I guess I'll go.
I wish you the best, man. I wish you the best. It's possible.
Thank you. Thanks, CS. Thanks. Yeah. I'm always this kind as fastest Indian. Yeah, so my last question, because I'm allowed only 4 questions, otherwise this discussion can go on. The road book, if I come to the road book, we all see that you get this year they changed it in Dakar, I guess. You were given the road books like 30 minutes prior to start of the race for 1 hour. But previously when you were given the road books beforehand, one night before the actual race. So like you are improving yourself. So, but still, how much time do you give to your road books at night or whenever you get it on your hand?
Man, I'll tell you something. They give us the road books in the Dakar. I used to tell Jordy all the time, man, this road book is such a pain in the ass because you need to spend,
your man.
4 or 5 hours to sit and color the road books. It wasn't the best experience because when you finish a stage in the Dakar, you're really tired. You spend a lot of energy, you're really tired, and then you need to come back and immediately start working on your road book. So when you finish the stage, you take off your clothes, you put on a shirt, you put on a pair of trousers, and you immediately sit to try and color your road books. So you have no time at all to rest. You have to eat, you have to drink while you color your road books. So in the beginning, we used to spend at least 4 hours on the road books, coloring the road books. We also used to sit and study the road book to try and understand what they wanted us to do on the stage, what to expect in the stage, whether we have dunes, whether it's fast, whether there's a lot of off-piste, you can get an idea for what the stage was with the road book. But I think this Dakar, I really enjoyed myself. It was the best Dakar for me because I didn't have to sit and color the road book. The road book came to you in the morning, 20 minutes before the start of the stage. And it was the same for everybody. So we all had to pay attention to the road book. I think it's definitely better this way because the previous day, I get time to spend with my team. I can chat with my teammates. I can sit around and just absorb the rally in the bivouac, meet different people. Before I couldn't do all this. Before everybody just sat and colored their road books. Nobody talked to anybody. So I think this was the best Dakar because we never got our road books.
So this Dakar, you don't have that sleep deprivation factor along with you on your time or on your bike each day. The sleep
No,
deprivation.
so even yes, because anyway the Dakar, the days are very long and you get very little time for yourself. And yes, of course, we wake up really early in the morning, and the fact that we don't have to do the road book was one less thing which takes a lot of effort to actually sit and color the road book.
So are they really going to introduce the digital road books next year? I heard they're going to change some rules from the next Dakar. Like technically, some rules are going to be changed. So do we expect the digital road books any soon?
Yes, they will not have it for this next Dakar because we don't have time to test it. But eventually, everybody's going to have digital road books. I think this is the way to go. It makes our life that much more easier because the navigation tower will probably become lighter because on the rally bike the navigation tower is quite heavy. So maybe with the digital road book we won't have a heavy tower. So it'll allow us a motorcycle that's going to be lighter and more fun to ride in the desert.
Got it. Thank you, CS. There ends my question, I guess.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, CS.
Santosh, while we are on this subject of road books, I think Mauricio also had a similar question. And Mauricio, do you want to ask Santosh your questions now? He basically wanted to know what do you think of electronic road books, and would you still prefer paper over? If you can answer that.
Sorry, what book? So can you repeat that again, please? I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Mauricio wanted to know if you prefer digital road books over paper, or you like a old school guy preferring paper over electronic road books.
I think the only thing in life that is constant is change. So I really can't say that I like things the way they were. I think they're trying to improve the experience of cross-country rallying. I also think that it's a lot of waste of paper because at the end of the day, there's so many rolls of paper that are given out every single day. And today, I don't think we need that anymore. And if we can eliminate paper, I think it's a good thing. And it's going to be exciting because it's a new chapter for us. Like I said, it was exciting for us at Saudi Arabia because they gave us the road books in the morning. So the next thing is then to eliminate the road book totally and then give us a digital road book. And with the digital road book, the rally bike is going to be a little bit lighter because the navigation tower is quite heavy. And I think for sure with the digital road book, we will be able to save some weight on the navigation tower, which will make the bike a lot more nicer to ride. So I look forward to having a digital road book.
Yeah. All right. Mauricio, if you're there, you want to ask your questions, please.
Okay. Santosh, I want to know if do you think the Rally Dakar will come back to South America in the future, or maybe if you like to participate in other country, what country or continent would you like the Dakar will be prepared for?
My answer to that is very easy. I love my first Dakar rally that I made was in Argentina. For me, when I came to Argentina, when I saw the atmosphere in the Dakar in Argentina, it was incredible. I have never seen anything like this in my life because there were people everywhere to follow the rally. It was incredible, the passion the people in Argentina have for the rally. And this was incredible for me. And I love Argentina, and I hope Dakar will come back to Argentina, but I don't think it's going to happen for the next 5 years. I think Saudi Arabia is going to be the place that they will run the Dakar. Saudi Arabia is also very beautiful, spectacular landscape for all of us to ride our motorcycles. The infrastructure also for the rally was really good. I think they have really good hospitals. They have really good people that are working for the rally. The only thing we miss in Saudi Arabia is not having the Argentinian people. So if we can bring Argentinian people to Saudi Arabia, we will have the best rally in the world.
No, it's Mauricio. Excuse me, Mauricio. Need made a deal with Darien and Hero Colombia for Santos go to ride one racing in Colombia.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
No?
Yes. I need to come to Colombia. Colombia is on the list of places that I want to go in my life. and for sure I will definitely come to Colombia one of these days.
We will hope that. Santosh, what tips can you give us for navigation when you go in the back in the motorcycle? You read the road book, I don't know, maybe 200 meters before and record. And what kind of tips can you give us for amateur rally drivers in motorcycle?
Okay, so the thing that I've learned with the road book is I think every note is important. We always have to give importance to every note. It's also important to understand, even if the navigation is easy, you have to always recal with every note if it's possible to be on the right mileage. Usually in cross-country rallying, most of the times when you don't recal to the exact note that you're in, when the tricky situation comes, you tend to get lost. So I realized that over the years that it's important to pay attention to every note, also recal whenever we can, so we know exactly where we are. Also with cap headings, it's really important to follow cap headings when there are multiple tracks. Sometimes in Morocco, there are many tracks. And usually, if you pay attention to the cap, you're able to find a good way. But if you follow a track and then don't pay attention to the cap, usually you start to get lost. So definitely follow the cap heading in multiple pieces. Definitely recal whenever you can and give every note importance. I've made some mistakes in the past when some sections were easy, I would not look at the road book. So at these times, I usually used to get lost. But I think with these couple of things that I've told you, I think you will have a good hold of navigation.
Okay, Santosh. And one more question. In the future, you plan continue riding motorcycles, or as other drivers, you must be will participate in maybe quads or vehicles or trucks? I don't know.
See, yeah, I for now I definitely enjoy racing my Hero Rally bike. The bike is always developing. Now again, this year we make a lot of developments on the Hero Rally bike, so I'm really excited to see what the bike is going to be like for this next Dakar. I think in the next few years I will definitely race the motorcycle, but beyond that, at some point in time, I would love to drive a car, and this is my dream.
Okay. Santosh, thank you very much, and we hope you can come to Colombia in the future.
For sure. Mucho gusto. Thank you so much.
Santosh, Mauricio had a really nice question, which I think he didn't ask, but I want to ask you that. You know, there was a time when you were starting to enter into the Dakar, and there were many idols, your role models that you must be having, right? Now then you raced alongside with your role models and ideas. How has this whole perception of seeing somebody on the TV and on the news doing the Dakar and then later on riding with them, how has this whole experience for you been?
I think the one thing that I realized from all of these guys that I looked up to in the Dakar is that they're exceptional human beings. All of the top guys are incredible competitors. They fight really hard for the win, but they're also gentlemen in the sense they look after their competitors. If something were to happen, they're the first people that will come in to help their competitor. And this is something that I saw that was incredible, even though it was so fiercely fought at the Dakar. I still think the top 15 guys are like demigods. They are incredible because the speeds at which they ride the Dakar and the ability to read a road book at those speeds, for me, it's mind-blowing how they're able to do it. I still, when I look at them, when I'm racing the Dakar, during the stage, I still try to imagine what Toby is doing or what Kevin is doing, or some of these really fast guys, what they do in some parts of the stage is incredible. So I still have a lot of respect and I still look up to these guys, and there is so much to learn in terms of being humble and also competitive at the same time, and these guys are able to do it.
Thank you, Santosh. Okay, Karan, do you want to now jump in? You had a few questions for Santosh.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Santosh. So My first question has already been answered by you. So the next question is, when you enter the Indian events, do you ride on your limit, or do you take down the guard, seeing that the competition is not so much?
Okay, so when I race the Desert Storm every year, cross-country rallying is a lonely sport. For that, let's start with that. We don't ride with. There is nobody that lines up next to me. It's always I line up and it's me against the clock. So I always feel like I need to go as fast as I can. The only thing that is in the back of my mind in India is the safety. We don't have medical evac with helicopters.
Yeah.
So I have crashed 2 times in the Desert Storm. I have had some really big crashes in the Desert Storm, and there was no medical evac for me. So this is the only part that I think twice about taking unnecessary risk. But in the Desert Storm is one of my favorite races in the world, and the tracks are so beautiful to ride. I enjoy my time riding my rally bike at the Desert Storm, and I definitely go as fast as I can. And that is, to answer your question, yes, I definitely go as fast as I can, because I'm not just competing with the Indian riders. At the end of the day, I have to go out and compete with the best in the world, and my goal is to be top 20 in the Dakar. So I must improve every single time I ride my motorcycle.
Okay. And the next is, would you ever like to get into a car to participate in any CCR event? As
yes,
we have seen, there are many bikers who are now very successful CCR rally drivers today.
Yeah, this is the future plan, but not immediately, but sometime in the future for sure. I would definitely love to drive a rally car in the Dakar.
So have you given it a shot? Sometime.
I actually drove a Volkswagen Polo in Sri Perambatoor and for a test, and I toppled the car. So
okay. Okay, that's all from my side.
Santosh.
See.
Not comment nothing of this.
No comments.
I remember Karan, I was just chatting with Santosh one day, and he said that I want to race in any possible terrain, whether it's water, it's air, or it's it's bike. So I think he's open to anything that can go fast.
Yeah, I've seen the video in which he was racing on a speedboat with Gaurav Gill, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gaurav Gill, I suppose it was in Mumbai.
Yes, it was.
And you were also practicing your road books in British Columbia, Britain somewhere. I saw your videos when you were training for your road book navigations. Is it?
Yes, even in the boats we had to navigate. So at least I took something from my cross country into boats.
Yeah. I remember that somewhere. I saw.
Well, thanks, Karan.
You're welcome.
Rafa.
Yeah, Rafa.
Yes, hi, Santos again.
Hola, Rafa.
Hola, Santos. ¿Qué tal, Paco? Anyone that is following the rallies can see that the Hero team as a whole, and you in particular, you are in a growing path. No, you get better results every year. My question is, if you consider the complexity of the sport, everything that is involved, a strong team, a good bike, the physical condition, the ability to navigate, and so on, what is missing? What do you think you are lacking yet to be fighting for a stage, for instance, for a stage win at the Dakar and this top 20 goal that you have in mind? What is missing? Where do you think you as a team have to work harder?
So as you know, when we started at Hero, we had the first evolution of the rally bike. So we raced the first 2 Dakars with the first evolution, and then we have the new bike that came in, and immediately the results were much better. We started to perform a lot better with the new rally bike. This evolution has to continue. So I think for us, we have a really good package in terms of the motorcycle is a really good handling motorcycle. The ergonomics of the motorcycle are really good. Of course, there are some departments where we can improve. and we've identified these departments. And I think the next rally bike that is coming, which I'm really excited about, will be able to give all of us an opportunity to again make the next step. I think this is the important thing with the evolution of the rally bike. Apart from being able to have a really good bike, we've also brought in important people to help us. Say, for example, now Jordi is being able to help us with the understanding of the road books, to strategize sometimes on how to approach different stages. Last year, we got a really important guy to help us with suspension, Yuho. So yes, he's been able to play a really, really big role for us in helping us set up suspension. As you know, in a rally bike, we have different conditions to deal with in a rally, and we have a lot of fuel that we carry. So to have a motorcycle that is safe to ride at high speeds is very important, and to have the confidence and ability with the motorcycle. So last year we made really, really big steps towards this. And this year, we are going to have a new bike again for the next Dakar. So that process has now again started, but I think this is the bike that's going to help us achieve better results. And I think to address that question about getting good results, with Paulo, we were able to get really good results. He actually won a couple of stages, whether it was Morocco or Silkway. In other rallies also, to have top 3, top 5 stages, to be able to show that the bike was competitive and the team is competitive. We were able to do that. Again, a race like the Dakar is very complex. It has many things to come into play. And I strongly believe that in the next 2 or 3 years, you will see a huge change in how we will start to do well in the Dakar on a rally bike.
Yeah, okay, thanks, very clear. I had another question, but you have already answered that. It was related to the move to Saudi Arabia, that you have shown to be a big fan of that. So that was my second question. But I have another one. If you look at the competition, right, your competitors at the Dakar in particular, and of course you haven't had the opportunity to race too much this year, obviously, only the Dakar, and that was it. So, but based on what you know, if you take aside the past winners of the Dakar, you know, the Tobis and the other pilots that have already won, who do you think, who would be your favorite to win the next Dakar?
I have a thing that maybe one of the guys to look out for is definitely some of the young riders, and a good friend of mine, Nacho. I think he has a lot of potential to be able to be the next guy from Chile, to be able to do well at the Dakar. He's one of the riders that I've really admired because he made a huge progression from, I raced and I rode with him in the beginning 5 years ago, and to see where he is today, he's made an incredible step with the Honda team. He's also one of the riders that has consistent results every single stage. And I think he's been able to do this not just in one Dakar, but in all of the races that he's competed. He's been very consistent. So I think Nacho or Kevin's younger brother, I think these
Luciano.
two guys, Luciano or Nacho, I think might be the next guy that might win the Dakar.
Okay, thank you. Those were my questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Rafa.
Fernando now?
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, okay.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, Fernando.
Okay. Hola, Santosh.
Hola.
Could you explain us a little bit how the Hero Motorsport the rally team is organized? It's a very big team, or it's a little family? There is hundreds of technicians or engineers, or not? There are few. How it's organized? This team.
The Hero team for me, I think there is a really strong feeling of a small team. Even though the company is the biggest company in the world, the Hero is the largest in terms of manufacturing of motorcycles. Even though the company in itself is massive. The team is very tight knit. We have very, very important people that work within the organization. It's not like Honda, where you have 20 or 30 people that come for the race. Or it's not like KTM, where we have so many people. I think Hero is one of the smaller teams at the Dakar, but I think they are very, very efficient in how they do their job. Of course, you know, Wafi is the team manager for Hero. So we have Wafi that looks after us. And then we have a suspension guy, which is Yuho. He looks after our suspension. And of course, each rider has a mechanic. And we have a truck driver. We have somebody that looks after the engine. And we have, of course, Jordi that helps us with pretty much everything and anything that we might need. So to answer your question, I think it's a really small team. And even with the riders, I think all of us don't feel like it's a professional engagement. We all feel like it's a really small, tight-knit family team.
Okay, I understand. About the bike, you have speak that there is a new bike. Could you tell us if it's possible? I don't know. What is the best part of the bike and the worst? That is the I don't know if the best is the chassis or the best at the motor.
Yes, I understand. So yes. So to answer your question, I would say this rally bike is, again, as I was saying, it's a new evolution of the bike. I think you remember seeing the old rally bike where we had the fuel tanks only in the rear, and then we had the evolution of the new bike. The bike is very compact. It's one of the slimmest bikes if you compare it with either with the Honda or the KTM. It's one of the slimmest packages that we were able to put together. It's also a really good handling machine. And I think it's quite safe to be able to ride this motorcycle. But then again, one of the things that we always feel like we can improve is definitely horsepower. And we all know that the Hondas and the KTMs have really, really fast machines. But I am really excited for the next few years to come, because we make a huge development this year, which I cannot tell you much at this point in time, but maybe in the coming months you will see that we're working on a new bike. So really excited to see what this new bike is going to be like. And I think the fact that we have a good handling machine, a very reliable machine, to then also have the package where we can have a little more top speed, I think will be a good machine overall.
Okay, thanks. Another question: how many hours you're training normally by day? All the days 2 hours?
Usually now I don't train that much, but but now usually I'm trying to train a lot on the bicycle. I try and train not in the gym. I don't have a gym right now because of the coronavirus, but I go for a run, I ride the bicycle, I lift some weights. I try and stay in good shape. But before the Dakar, I think we spend a lot of time in Morocco. We spend a lot of time testing in Morocco. We spend a lot of time doing road books for practice. We spend maybe at least 2 to 3 weeks in Morocco before the Dakar. And from this, I then go and spend some time in Dubai. I try and ride in Dubai in the dunes to get a good feeling in the desert. And then from then on, I try and ride my motorcycle as much as possible, but also spend a lot of time doing off-the-bike training. Off-the-bike training is important, but the most important skill to have is to be able to ride the motorcycle. And the best example is Toby Price. Toby Price spends the most amount of time riding his motorcycle, and that's what he's really good at. It's good to train off the bike to be in good condition, but I think at the end of the day, if you're spending a lot of hours riding a motorcycle and then riding and training on the cross-country rally bike, I think it's the best training you can have.
Okay. To finish, I have read that Joaquin Rodriguez has passed a bad moment But I have read also that now it's okay. You know that it's okay for now for races.
Yes, so of course, Joaquim, was obviously the hardest hit from what happened with the tragedy with Paulo. So, and Joaquim has been a part of the team since the first day we started the Hero Motorsports. So me and Joaquim were the first riders that the team signed. So it was really important to give Joaquim enough time to heal, to come to terms with the situation, and we were all supporting him. And of course, all of us want Joaquim to come back and to race at the Dakar. And we were really happy to see that Joaquim decided to come back and start to test the motorcycle. And he's definitely looking forward to going racing. And I think he will definitely race the Dakar.
Okay. That's all. Thanks very much, Santosh.
Gracias, Fernando. Gracias.
Sushan.
Yes.
I think now the next one. I think it's good. Martin, it's not sent the questions, but it's good. The winner,
Martin,
it's made some questions.
Martin has sent the questions late.
Okay.
Martin, the floor is yours.
Me? Oh.
Yes.
I had a question about how many road books do you guys do the team during the season? If you take like 1 month of full training road books or week.
So how we approach trying to train with the road book is quite simple. So the Dakar happens in January. So it's very important the last 3 or 4 months to be in the best condition and to work towards the Dakar. So from September, October, November, December, these are the very important months to prepare for the Dakar. So in September, we go and we race Pan Africa. Pan Africa is a really good race with really good road book. So we race the Pan Africa, and then from Pan Africa, we stay back and we race the Morocco rally. So these 2 rallies we do together. And before these 2 rallies, we spend about 2 weeks in Morocco, 2 to 3 weeks in Morocco, testing the bike, and we do road books every single day. Last year, we did close to 10 road books, 10 days of road books in Morocco for practice before the Pan Africa and before the Olympia rally. And after we do these rallies, we try and spend as much time as possible on our rally bike, or we try and go and ride in places like in Dubai, because I stay in India. It's easy for me to access Dubai. So I try to go out to Dubai and again, ride in the desert. But the question you asked me is towards the last 4 months are the most important months leading to the Dakar. So we spend as much time as possible on the rally bike and doing navigation training.
Yeah, so that last month before Dakar are the most important to
definitely, because you know how when you start the stage, sometimes it takes like a few kilometers to again get
the rhythm,
to read the road book. You know, every time you start the stage, it takes a few kilometers to try and understand the road book, and then you have a good feeling, and then you have a good rhythm. But it's the same, I think, for all of us. When we first start the rally, the first day, like the first 10 kilometers, we try and reacquaint ourselves with the road book.
Yeah, I know that the rhythm it's not like you start the race, you need to get the rhythm by bit. It's not like in the first kilometer that you are. Yeah. So
yes,
I
exactly. So you know when you
yeah. Say.
No, continue. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. No, I had other question too. If you want to say something else, I don't know.
No, I was saying it's really important when you start the stage, like the first few notes, to get the notes correct and to have a good feeling with these notes, and then it gives you confidence, because then you know you're going in the right direction, you know you're reading the road book well. So the first 10 kilometers is really important to establish a good relationship with the road book.
Yeah, in the beginning of the race, the racers feel a bit less confident, isn't it?
Yes. Confidence is everything, because you know in cross-country rallying you must trust yourself. You must trust that you are making the right decision, that you're following the right cap or the right piece, and you must trust your own ability with the road book.
Yeah, I feel that sometimes too when I'm training. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Martin.
I'd like to ask a question now.
Can we request Riddhi now? Riddhi, you had a few questions for Santosh? Are you there, Riddhi? Well, okay, maybe we'll circle back to her. Samir, you want to now quickly pitch in because we have very few minutes left. So,
Perico?
Good luck.
Yeah, I would like to ask some questions.
Yes.
Hi, Santosh. So
Hi.
my first question to Santosh is, what is your experience as compared to international rallies and as compared to Indian rallies? What is the difference you find out?
Wow, this is a very difficult question to answer because I went from racing in India, like the Desert Storm and the Reti Himalaya. When I raced the Reti Himalaya, I thought it was the hardest rally in the world. And then from the Reti Himalaya, I raced Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. I have never seen dunes like this in my life. I never imagined there are dunes like this. It was the most scariest rally when I did my first Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge. So the level of competition is another level. In India, not so many of us are riding and racing. So the competition is smaller and the scale of the event also is smaller. But when you go international, it's incredible the kind of riders that are there competing at the cross-country rallies, and the organization, the scale of the event itself is unbelievable. And it's something that took me by surprise when I did my first international rally.
Yeah. So my next question is, how you look as a Hero Motorsports for upcoming motorsports activities in India?
I'm really positive because when I first got an opportunity to be able to be part of the team with Hero, I knew that everything is going to change in India. The thing is that being able to have a company like Hero back motorsports. Hero was a commuter brand. They made motorcycles for people to commute. And a company like Hero then making a decision to say that we need to go racing and we need to go racing at the Dakar is important for us as a company. It's important for us as a product. It says a huge deal. It's a sense of pride also because Hero represents not only itself, but also represents India on the global scale.
Yes.
So I think it's a really proud moment for me for sure. And I think the growth in this country will definitely come, and it's already happening. And I have to say that it's the involvement of manufacturers.
Yeah. So that's the great way of working as a Hero Motorsports in India. So my next question is, right now we are in a lockdown and only Hero Motorsports has given this unique opportunity of, couch rallying, what we are saying is earlier. So how you sees, upcoming challenges about this virtual rallying or virtual challenges, how you sees what this thing?
So I hope the coronavirus thing is actually in the past now, and we can finally go out. The government is relaxing all of the restrictions.
Yeah.
I think this is the progression, but I think it's also given us an opportunity. As you can see, Hero did a phenomenal job being able to organize these virtual roadbooks. When I first started to compete in rallies, I did not even know what a roadbook looked like. I did not even understand what navigation is. And today, you guys are able to do this navigation at home. In 2015, when I did my first rally, I had no idea what a roadbook was. So I think it's an important tool that now even guys like me will use to, when we're at home, when we're not racing at the rallies, to stay in touch with the navigation aspect of rallying. So I think Hero's done a phenomenal job, and I think in the future you can look forward to more challenges like this. And at some point in time, maybe we'll get an X-Pulse also kitted out with a rally, with a rally roadbook reader, and then maybe we can do something with this also. So there are many ideas, and I think Hero will be able to lead the way in this part.
Yeah, we are excited to see that X-Pulse with an Hero kit. Or
yes, for sure. They're going to come up with a
yeah.
roadbook for the X-Pulse, and then all of you guys can come and actually do a roadbook with us.
Yeah. So my final question, what is your keynote only to navigators?
What is my keynote to a navigator?
Yeah, or important tips for navigators. As you know, many TSD rallies are coming, and if you are in a four-wheeler, there is a navigator. On a bike, we are all doing riding and navigating by ourselves. So on car, how you give tips to a navigation if you are going in a car or a TSD rallies?
So I think obviously you need to practice with anything, whether it's riding or playing a sport. You first must spend enough time practicing. So definitely practice your road books. Second thing is to have good orientation. And of course, the third thing is to pay important to all the notes and trust yourself. I had a lot of problems in the beginning when I used to get lost in the rallies is because I never trusted my own judgment. So when I used to come to a certain place where it was really complicated to find the right way, I would get lost because I start to watch everybody else. And the most important thing is when it's really difficult is to focus on yourself, to focus on the note and try and find the way. This is the important thing. And I think last year I spent a lot of time with Paulo. Paulo was amazing to help me with all of my navigation, and he gave me a lot of confidence. And this, I think, played a huge role in my performance last year, because my last year I did the best rallies. I also rode some of the best stages in the Dakar, and it's because of the confidence that I had in trusting my own judgment. So these are the important things that you can pay attention to in navigation.
Yeah, thanks, Santosh. It was a great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amir. Perico, you want to quickly come in because we're just running out of time, man. So we take a last couple of people, and Perico, maybe you can go first.
Perico. Hola, Perico.
Hola, Perico.
Hola.
Haz la pregunta en castellano y yo te traduzco.
Can I go for the question?
Perico.
Perico is on mute.
Okay.
Perico, ¿estás ahí? Hola, Perico.
Okay, Johnny. While we get Perico back, maybe we can start with the
Darshit. No?
Yeah, like, hello, CS. I had a question. Like, I have been an engineer myself. So while we were creating the cars, the Formula student cars in the college, we used to feel like that we have nourished the baby from scratch to the track, right? So I want to know from you, like, how you treat the bike during the rallies. How should a rider not treat the bike? Because it's kind of a baby to us, yes?
You mean how do I look after the bike, or are you saying the relationship
how you should not treat the bike during the rally?
Yes, because it's kind of a baby to us. Yes.
That's the hardest part CS can ever push into.
Hey, so of course, you know, without the motorcycle, I wouldn't be able to achieve all the things that I achieved. So the motorcycle is the most important aspect of my sport on my journey to achieving all of my dreams and goals. So the motorcycle, you know, we have a special bond with the motorcycle. Whenever I start the stage, I always think of my motorcycle and I say to my motorcycle that, you know, just let's work together. You know, I have a special bond. I say to the motorcycle, I feel the motorcycle. I feel the motorcycle between my legs, and I feel the motorcycle on the ground. And it's a special bond because you need to be one with the motorcycle and to have a really good feeling while you compete at the stages. So I think the bond with the motorcycle is really important. To have confidence in the motorcycle is really important. And I think all of us as riders, we spend a lot of time testing. This is why we spend a lot of time testing our motorcycles, trying to arrive at the best possible compromise that gives us the confidence in suspension, in the way the bike handles. And this happens during the course of the year. So the races that we do during the year, the testing that we do, all of this is building a bond with the motorcycle, and understanding the limits of the motorcycle is really important. And this is what enables us to go as fast as we can. Unless you are able to have a bond with the motorcycle, to push your limits, to push your own motorcycle's limits, to knowing where the limit is. This is the journey that me as an individual, I take part in, and then the motorcycle is my tool to express.
The next question from me is that when we go for like the cruising speeds in the off-road tracks, how a beginner should keep the things in mind, how he should handle the bike at the high speeds. What are the pro tips of yours for that?
Hey, the most important thing for anything in motorsport is to always work on the basics. So even here at Big Rock, the first thing that I always do is to work on the most basic techniques, whether to understand how to sit on a motorcycle, how to corner on the motorcycle, what the weight balance does, when to stand up, when to sit down, to choose the right lines. All of these things are more important than trying to go really fast. If you're able to do all of these things at the basic level really well, you will have the confidence and the ability to go fast. But the pursuit of being able to go fast on a motorcycle starts with your basics. So I would say definitely spend as much time as possible to work on your basics. And when you have this with confidence, you can then progress to going as fast as your ability will allow you to go.
Okay, and the last question of mine is that what is the thing that you have learned from the motorsport that you actually implement in your real life also nowadays?
Motorsport is not separate.
By real life, you mean your non-motorsport life.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, because motorsport is my life. So, it's not possible that I live away from this lifestyle of racing motorcycles. So apart from the motorcycles, what I take to my everyday life is the feeling of joy, the feeling of happiness to live every single day. Because in the motorcycle, you're able to experience this when we are competing or when we're racing our motorcycles. We feel alive. So I think we must take the same enthusiasm to everything else in life also. Whether I'm having a conversation with you, or whether I'm eating a piece of steak, or whether I'm enjoying a glass of wine, we must enjoy and live life to the fullest. So I think this is what I take from the motorcycles to my everyday life.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Darshan.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sushan, Priyanka now, no? I think.
Sorry?
Priyanka, I think is the next one.
If Perico is not there,
Yes.
Priyanka or Riddhi.
Hi.
Yep.
Oh, hi, Priyanka.
Hi. I had a question for you. So, we've been given this opportunity, and almost I keep reiterating that it's a novelty, just sitting at home, having somebody like Jody and the Hero Motorsports team putting together road books and challenges for week after week. It's a privilege getting that kind of direct contact with them and interacting with them. For you, it was probably different. What was your first experience? The first time you were introduced to a road book, what was the confusion? What did it feel like? What was the things that really got to you? Because each one of us has that little niggle. So what was your first road book experience or learning like?
The first time they gave me a road book, I said to myself, I did not sign up for this. I said I came here to ride my motorcycle. I came here to race my motorcycle, not to read this piece of paper. Because I had no idea. What a road book was coming from India, because we never had any navigation rallies in India. So this was the biggest challenge for me, because I saw all these symbols and it was in French and I don't understand nothing from all of these road books. and the only thing that I did was to follow the tracks in front of me. And I used to be so lost in my first rallies. I remember when I raced in Qatar. When I raced this rally in Qatar, it was one of the hardest navigation rallies on the championship. And every day I would start and I would be the last one to finish. All the cars would finish, and then I would finish the last because I couldn't find my way. And everybody in the bivouac used to have a laugh because they couldn't believe that this Indian guy was so lost. So that is my journey, how I started with navigation. So I learned the really hard way. I used to come back every day at 6 o'clock in the evening. This is the maximum allowed time. And I used to make it back exactly at 6 o'clock in the evening every day. So this is my first experience with roadbook.
NPL like people have raised in Great Himalaya, like maximum permissible lateness. Do Dakar have that as well?
Yes, they have a window, not just at the end of the stage, but even during the stage, in the middle of the stage. If you don't arrive at this part of the stage at the CP in a certain number of hours, they will cut you short. Not just at the finish, even in the middle of the stage.
And another question I had for you is that you've had an opportunity to travel, not just to do the rallies, but even to train and to experience different countries and what they have to offer. So far, which one has been your favorite? And by that I mean you feel right at home once you get there and you're gunning, ready to get on the bike and get out.
I would say I've been very fortunate, like you said, to experience different parts of the world on a motorcycle. But I think for me, Spain is really close to home. The people are fantastic. They're very warm people. They love their food. They love their wine, and they definitely love their motorcycles. And it's a culture, and it's something that has allowed me to actually grow a lot in the last couple of years. Being able to have many good riders in Spain. Of course, everybody knows Marc Coma is from Spain. Pedrero is from Spain. A lot of really good riders. Mena, my teammate, is from Spain. Really, really good riders. Barreda. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. There's so many good riders that come from Spain. And it's you see why they're so successful. It's because of the culture that they have and the passion that they have for motorcycles. So I think I feel really at home in Spain. And I definitely spend the most amount of time training and living out of Spain.
We also love you, Santos.
Gracias, gracias.
And my last question to you is that of course, you've answered so many questions about how to get into rally, your experience on the domestic front as well as going international. Now that motorsports in every avenue, whether it's on the track, whether it's in dirt, it's road, you get a lot of interest from people, from very young kids right up to people who are much, much older, starting late, either riding a motorcycle or getting into dirt. What is your thought process, or what is your conversation with them like when they start at any stage? Because in many of the countries, they start really young. They start at 3 and 6 and 10, and they have their first dirt bike, and they're already out there and doing fantastically well. So what's your conversation with people at a much later stage asking you about rallying?
So, I also started quite late, so I understand the challenges there are in a country like India. So I started when I was like 17 or 18 was when I did my first race. I think it's definitely not the best time to start, but I think it's definitely a start. And I'm happy that I was able to start when I was 18. Today, I see this also, that a lot of people are starting a lot later. But the thing is that as a country, we're definitely moving in a different direction. It's no longer looked upon as something that is a waste of time. Because I'll tell you two things. One is that we have, of course, manufacturers now participating actively at the Dakar. And also you have people like me or Arvind KP or Harith that are able to ride for factory teams, or even Ashish Raurane, for the matter of fact, who's getting support and who's been able to earn the people's respect in terms of being able to compete at rallies. So I think the mentality is definitely changing. I would say that everybody needs to start to think about, I always stress upon being well prepared, which is learning to ride a motorcycle well. It's might not be so hard to line up at a cross-country rally, which is international, but you don't want to line up at an international event and not have the skill to make it through, because it takes a huge investment to make it to any cross-country rally. So before you start to think about going international, I would definitely say start small. Think about the national circuit, race the races in India, compete at the Desert Storm, the Baja, work on your own skills. And then from then on, you can then aspire to do international rallies. And don't jump any of those steps. Everything takes time. There is a reason you need to invest that time to be ready for an international event.
Thanks so much, CS, and wish you all the very best.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka. So I think we've come at the end of the session, and we took a lot more time than we allotted, but I think it was all really engaging and interesting for all you guys. We hope so. We had a really good time. Thank you all for joining once again, and we will continue to come up with new challenges and new activities and new ways to help you guys out achieve your own dreams and your own adventures. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening and a good night. Thank you, Santosh, for joining us and talking to us and taking the time out. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
Chao, chao.
Gracias a todos.
Gracias
a todos.
Adiós, amigos.
Hasta luego.
Adiós.
Gracias a todos.
Uncle, bye bye.
Bye bye, Uncle. Hey, Uncle.